We are only going to talk about 11 sales for this week of sales in today's What Sold video. But that being said, I do think that this is the week I started trying something a little new. Actually, it's not brand new. It's something that I've done before, but something that I've tried consistently, and I think that it has definitely helped. It's something I'm gonna continue through the end of the year, and I think I'm gonna see some really great results from it. So definitely make sure to stay tuned till the end of the video to hear what that is, and stay tuned. Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I am a part-time reseller on a bunch of different platforms. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about actually for three different platforms where I sold items, and I'm gonna share everything with you that I can. Where I got the item, how much I paid for the item, how much I ended up making net profit. So I'm gonna talk through all of those things with you in hopes that from watching this video, you'll learn about some really great brands to be on the lookout for, or maybe some things that you don't need to pick up as you hear me talk about how maybe I only made a couple dollars on something. So let's jump right into it, and we'll start by talking about sales on October 29th, which was a Tuesday, which means on the 28th, I had no sales. But on the 29th on eBay, I sold the Nike Tee Dry Fit Chicago Bears NFL graphic t-shirt in a men's size small. If you didn't know, the Chicago Bears is a football team.
The Bears. The Bears.
I live in Illinois, so it is, I guess, my football team. I don't really care about football. I'm so sorry if you are a football fan. I am saying that I didn't have any money into that because that was just in my house. Maybe I got that and gave it to my husband and he wore it for a little bit and then he just decided he wasn't going to anymore. I don't know. It ended up selling for $7.90. It was promoted at 3%. My net profit was $4.92. Also, let me know if you come from a household where anyone in your family is playing fantasy, whether it's football or basketball. My husband is doing both, and his life is a roller coaster. As a result, he will watch games. He'll always watch a Bears game because that's our team and they're not doing so hot. So that breaks his heart a little. And then it just like is personally insulting to him when his fantasy players don't play well. Like, he takes it personally, and I'm like, I don't think they know who you are or care. But that's what's going on in our house right now. Let me know if you can relate. But moving on the 30th of October, which was a Wednesday, I sold nothing. None of the things sold. But on Thursday, which was Halloween, I did have a couple sales. The first one was on eBay, and it was this new with tags Francesca's blue lace raglan long sleeve shirt in a women's size large that I got from America's Thrift Supply. They had sent me a couple boxes. One was a micro bale of dresses. This is clearly not a dress, so that tells you a little bit about how that experience was. Twas not good. But it was a micro bale of dresses, and then I also got a box of like luxury denim. Nothing luxury about them. It was a bust. It wasn't really the best wholesale option in my opinion, but I got, those items for free. So I had no money into this. It sold for $13.99, and that's because at this point I was running a 30% off sale on eBay. And this is what I am doing consistently to see if it helps my sales, and holy cow, has it been helping. I think it's running consistent sales on the weekends, coupled with the fact that we are in Q4, people just kind of put on this mentality of like, I need to shop more, whether it's, to get presents for other people for the holidays, whether it's just because they're accustomed to there being really good deals around this time of year. I don't know what it is, but my sales have been really great. And I do think that having some sort of promotional sale in my closet on eBay for the weekend, usually I'll do at least Friday through Sunday. And I think that's what I did here. No, this was a Thursday. So I think I actually ran it Thursday through Sunday. But I've either been doing like a Thursday, Friday sale, maybe at like 20%, and then I'll kick it up to 30 on Saturday and Sunday. So I'll try like a tiered sale like that, or just, a general sale. I'll probably do a 50% off sale, both like on Poshmark and on eBay, just to try to move as much stuff as possible for Black Friday. But I think running sales every weekend has really woken up.
3 hours later.
It has brought life to my eBay store. Like, and I feel like the results of the sale trickle into the week. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just been really, really great. It's something that I need to remember to do from here on out, like I said, at least until the end of the year. And you can actually schedule those things out in advance. Like if I wanted to, I could sit there and schedule out all of the sales for all upcoming weekends until the end of the year within like 5 minutes. Like I could just sit on eBay and do it. I'll probably do that after I'm done filming this actually, but I am very excited about what this has been doing for my eBay store. And like I said, I need to find ways to kind of do that sort of thing on my other platforms as well. So that is the big tip that I have that I alluded to earlier. Try running a consistent sale. There's something that happens to people mentally when they see that the price that they have to pay for an item is less than what it was originally. So it's been helping a lot. This item by itself, I don't think was really anything. Francesca's, I remember I used to think that it was such a big deal. I used to think that it was so expensive, and it is. I mean, it definitely retails for more than it needs to. And I just remember like if I ever bought anything from Francesca's, that would be a treat. That's before I learned about reselling and learned how I could get really amazing pieces for pretty cheap as long as I'm getting them, you know, on a resale market. But yeah, I didn't have anything into it. My net profit was $11.58. I'll take it. Also on Halloween on Poshmark, I sold this pair of the North Face 700 quilted goose down insulated winter boots in a women's size 5. So these boots I got on Poshmark in August of 2022 for $21.45. That does include me paying for shipping. So, you know, the item was probably listed for like $13. But the reason I was willing to pay so much is because I had sold that same pair of boots earlier in the year for like $60 or $70. And I thought that I had seen comps consistently pointing to the fact that they would sell for north of 50, again in that $60 to $70 range. So I listed these pretty early on, if I remember correctly. Like I got them in August of 2022. I probably listed them sometime in September. However, I do also think when I got them, I realized they weren't in as good of condition as they were stated to be in, and they definitely were not in as good of condition as the previous pair that I had sold. So I think that definitely brought the price down quite a bit. But like I said, probably listed them around September or October of 2022. They just sold on Halloween of 2024. So I've had these for like 2 years. They sold for $40. I definitely accepted an offer on that. And my net profit was $10.55. This is one of the reasons I do not do a lot of online arbitrage. Some people are so good at it. I am not. I am very not good at the online arbitrage. I always pick things up, and when I say always, I mean like once or twice a year. I will pick things up online thinking that I'm gonna be able to sell it for so much, and then I hold on to it for 2 years and sell it for $10 of profit. So not a sourcing model that I particularly thrive at, but I did make some money, so there you go. Sorry, I keep like looking off to the side because I have my little Magic Mind drink. I don't know if you've heard of this. They call it like a mental performance shot. And it really is. It is supposed to give you a sharper mind, lower stress, and calm energy. It has 12 ingredients like mushrooms and matcha and other like supernatural things. It has 25 calories in it, so you know, it's a small shot. I know some people drink it with like oat milk, or they like mix it into like a smoothie or something. I honestly just drink it straight. I think it tastes pretty good. But Magic Mind actually reached out to me, asked if I would do a review of this product on my channel. So I did get a couple cases of this sent to me for free and was able to try it. And their big claim is that it's not one of those things where it's like a one and done, like the first time you take it, you're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, like look at me do all the things. But the claim is that the benefits of this kind of piggyback off of each other each day that you go. So the first day, it's, you know, it's fine, it's good. But then the second day and the third day, and by the seventh day, you really kind of feel the added benefits of having taken it in the previous days. So I tried it. I tried drinking it over the course of 7 days, one a day. And I will say, especially in this season right now of where it is the busiest at work, I have all these caroling performances and like hundreds of emails, so much happening for my reselling business. You know, I'm shipping out more than I ever have. I'm listing more. My kids' schedules are insane. And I always feel like I'm barely keeping it together, mainly because I'm not very good at like focusing on one thing. I'm always like, blah, 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 I'm all over the place. But I feel like after 7 days of having had a magic mind in the morning on my way to work, I feel like I just am able to lock in and focus on the task at hand. I have actually really been enjoying this. Like I said, it's an easy thing to drink really quickly in the morning. If this is something you want to try, the best news is that right now they are offering this for 50% off if you use the link that is down in the description below. I'll also put it right here. It is just magicmind.com/BeckyPBF. And if you use that, you can get 50% off of this to just try it yourself. Again, this is a busy season where we have a lot of things going on, and I don't know about you, I just need help sometimes, like figuring out how to lock in, and this has been really awesome to help me do that. But moving on to my sales, on November 1st, which was a Friday, on eBay, I had another item sell as a result of my 30% off sale, and it was this Polo Ralph Lauren Pima Soft Touch green short sleeve polo shirt in a men's size small. That sold for $17.49. Like I said, it was on 30% off sale, and that's why it sold for that random amount, $17.49. I had $3.47 into it. I got it at a local consignment store during their birthday sale last May. So I've had this for a little bit, but my net profit on that was $11.18. Also on the 1st, also on eBay, I sold this pair of Eileen Fisher black stretch mesh knit ballet flats. They were the Naomi Heaven style, I guess, and they were in a women's size 8.5. Those I picked up at a local consignment store in September. So those were not listed for a very long time at all. Like I remember in September, I went to this consignment store, got like a garbage bag full of shoes, just got so many shoes because there were a bunch of really great ones on sale and they were all 75% off. This was also promoted at 3%, but they sold for $34.99. That was part of that, 30% off sale that I had running. And I had $11 into those shoes, so my net profit was $18.02. Had they not sold as part of that 30% off sale, I would have obviously made more on them, which I think I was kind of expecting to, but it's okay. Like a lot of times for whatever reason, when I run sales, especially on eBay, it is my older listings that really sell through, and that makes me really happy. So if every once in a while a newer listing sells, that's totally okay. And even if a lot of newer listings sell, for my sale price. So yeah, I was happy with that $18.02 of net profit. And then moving on to the 2nd of November, which was a Saturday, on eBay, I still had that 30% off sale going, and I sold this Spider black full zip fleece lined sweater jacket in a youth size 2XL. That sold for $7.78. It was promoted at 30%. I had $3 into it, and so my net profit was $10.40. That one I had $3 into. I think it was listed for a while, and I think that when I listed it, I must have accidentally just charged a lot for shipping and it didn't cost that much to ship out. That's how I was able to make more money on it than it sold for, but I don't really know what happened there. But moving on to my next sale of that day over on Depop, I had a pretty good sale, and this to me was kind of surprising that it sold on Depop, but also not really. The brand is surprising because the brand was Donald J. Pliner Couture. Donald J. Pliner to me is a very mature women's shoe brand. It's not something that like the young hip people are wearing. That being said, it was this butterfly metallic silk leather pair of kitten heels in a women's size 8. I do think in the description I used words like fairy core, which I feel like fairy core and butterflies go well together. I feel like the colorway was kind of like ethereal and just like, I don't know, it was very interesting. And that's the only reason I listed these on Depop is because of the kitten heel. I feel like kitten heel is very popular right now and is kind of like Y2K-y. So I just took a chance. I listed them on Depop, kind of thinking they could sell there, but fully expecting them to sell somewhere like eBay or Poshmark first. They sold for my full asking price on Depop for $50. I had $5.50 into them from a local consignment store sale. It was like a 75% off sale. At the same time that I got the Eileen Fisher flats, I got these. They were 75% off. And so I had $5.50 into them. My net profit was $37.02. I did pay for shipping on Depop. I always pay for shipping, but that was amazing to me. I was so excited. So even if a brand isn't very typical for Depop, definitely just go ahead and throw it up there. It's easy to do when you have something like List Perfectly. That is a Chrome extension that I use to quickly cross-list items from one platform to another. To cross-list something to Depop takes maybe an additional minute of my life, and it's worth it when I'm able to sell things for $50. So very excited about that. And if you want to try List Perfectly, if you want access to, a Chrome extension that helps you cross-list very quickly, or, to sales analytics, and they have a lot of other tools too, definitely make sure to check out my link down below in the description. My coupon code BECKYPARK will save you 30% off of your first month with List Perfectly. So if you've been looking for a tool like that, definitely check it out. And then also on the second on Poshmark, so this particular day I sold something on eBay, Depop, and Poshmark. I sold this Nike Fit Dry Golf orange color block polo short sleeve shirt in a men's size medium. That sold for $17. That's kind of shocking to me. I don't feel like that should have sold for that much, but it did. I had $2 into it from a reseller buyout that I did a while ago. And so my net profit on that was $11.60. Also on the second, I had one more Poshmark sale, and it was this Melissa McCarthy 7-7, they write out 7 and then there's the number 7 next to it. Pink floral midi bodycon skirt in a women's size 1X. I did also put fairy core in this, even though this isn't very fairy core-y in silhouette or style. I feel like fairy core definitely isn't necessarily pencil skirt. It's more flowy, roughly ethereal, I don't know, what a fairy would wear, lots of layers and that sort of thing, very lightweight, chiffon-y type material. This was not that, but it's more so because of the colors and the floral print. That's the reason why I just went ahead and used fairy core. Maybe that's what helped it sell. And actually what I did here, and this is something I'm gonna try in the future, just to kind of streamline my relisting process. Right now on eBay, I will end listings manually and then I will sell similar each night. I've been really good about doing that. I need to continue to be really good about doing that. I think that's also why my eBay sales have been great. And then on Poshmark, I have a Chrome extension called Posher VA that will end listings for me every 60 days and relist them. And then on Mercari, I just don't really relist. I don't really relist on Depop. And those are the main platforms that I'm selling on right now. But what I'm trying to do, I did it one day, and this is one of the items that I did this one day. What I wanna move towards is when items are ending on eBay, I wanna try ending those particular listings on all of my platforms. So let's say I've got 5 items ending on eBay in one day. I want to end those 5 listings on Poshmark and Depop and Mercari as well. I want to revisit the original listing on List Perfectly. Definitely drop the price at that point, especially if it's something that's been listed for a while. I want to go in and tweak the listing title because some of these listings are things that have been listed for years, and I think maybe it's because they would benefit from me adding new, more relevant keywords or something like that. And then to relist those listings using List Perfectly, push them out from List Perfectly to the different platforms. And that way, in another month, if they still haven't sold, I can just end them all again using List Perfectly and relist them again using List Perfectly, which is just really easy. And then that way, the item number for each item from each platform will still correspond within List Perfectly's database. This is a lot of List Perfectly talk for those who may not know anything about List Perfectly. If you're a List Perfectly user, you're probably yep, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I think that's a better way to go about it than randomly ending listings in a random manner across all different platforms. And I did try that one day. One day I was let me try this and see how it goes. And this was one of those items. And that's why I added the keyword fairy core into the listing title, because I didn't have that in the listing when I listed this originally a year ago. I got this in June of 2023. It was part of a reseller buyout. I listed it fairly quickly after receiving it, but because it got no hits and because it was something that had, relisted over and over again on all of my different platforms, that's why I decided to end it everywhere, tweak the listing on List Perfectly, push it out, and as a result, it sold for $25 on Poshmark. That was my full asking price after a year of it not selling because of maybe just a bad listing title, bad description, what have you. By kind of reworking it, making it a fresh listing, it did sell for my full asking price. I had $385 into it. I made a net profit of $16.15. Now, I wouldn't like run out and get Pencil Skirts by Melissa McCarthy 7, that collaboration. It just happened to work out for me this one time, but that's how I made that sale, so that was pretty exciting. On the 3rd of November, which was a Sunday, this sale was so silly. It was a good sale, but it was silly, and I'll explain why. On eBay, I sold this Johnny Was Via Voyage white embroidered novelty travel theme ruffle blouse. I don't know what size that was in. I didn't put the size in the listing title. That's probably not good. I picked this up at a consignment sale, like a pop-up consignment sale that happens in my town twice a year. I got it in May of 2024. I paid $25 for it because I thought it was beautiful. It's Johnny Was. There's a lot of embroidery on it. It's really fun. It sold for $70 on eBay, leaving me with a profit of $35.78, which is fine. Like, I basically almost tripled my initial investment, and that's fine. The reason I'm saying this is a silly sale is because when I went to end it on all of my other platforms because it had sold, I realized it was only listed on eBay. It wasn't even listed on Poshmark or Mercari. And this totally could have sold on Poshmark or Depop. It could have also sold on Depop. Like, I don't know why I only had it listed on eBay. So that's such a boo-boo on my end. I do remember being like, how come this doesn't get a lot of attention on platforms? Like, I would see it every now and then on eBay, and I would see maybe someone had liked the item or it would relist or something. And I remember being like, how come nobody nowhere else is interested in this? Like, it's such a beautiful piece. They can't be interested in it if it's not listed over there. So whoopsily daisily, I did not have it listed anywhere but eBay. So thank God that someone on eBay was like, yeah, I'll buy it from you for $70. And then my last sale of the week that we'll talk about, also on the 3rd of November on Poshmark, was this new with tags Fate. That is the brand name. I think this is like a boutique type of brand, but it was this paisley tan peasant blouse in a women's size small. I put words like cottagecore and boho and ruffle in the listing title because I do think it's all of those things. I got this and an identical blouse to this. There were two at this consignment store. Maybe they were different sizes. They may not have even been. Clearly a boutique sold these items to this consignment store, but I had $3 into it because it was part of a $3 tag sale. I got it in August of 2024, and my net profit on that was $25. Oh my gosh, that sold for $35. That's actually kind of shocking to me. That was my full asking price. Did not expect it to sell for my full asking price, but very thankful that it did. So let's talk about my numbers. On Depop, I sold one item for $50. My cost of goods for that item was $5.50, and my net profit was $37.02. On eBay, I sold 6 items, and that was for a gross sales amount of $198.16. My cost of goods for those items was $42.47, and so my net profit was $91.88. I only sold 4 items on Poshmark for $117, and I had $30.30 into those items, and so my net profit was $63.30. So this week of sales, in total, I sold 7 items for a gross sales amount of $365.16. My cost of goods for those items was $78.27, and in the entire week, I made a net profit of $192.20, which is not a lot, but like I said, man, this past week of sales, it was really good. I'm like starting to do my numbers to see what they look like. I mean, I think on Sunday I sold like 10 items on eBay alone. And again, I think it's because of the sales that I'm running. It's these weekend sales, and I feel like each week that I do them, they get better and better. And I don't think it's people like expect them of me. I don't think people are like,
oh, I'm gonna go visit her store again next weekend because I bet she's gonna run another great sale.
I just feel like it's putting me in favor of the eBay algorithm gods. So I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna keep running sales every weekend and just hope that it continues to boost my overall sales for the week, because I'm so excited to do my what sold video for this past week. I'm still like 2 or 3 videos behind, but I'm getting there. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.